Your boy Dan Sileo, National Football Show. How the hell is everybody doing? Or as I would say to all my Italian brothers out there, how you doing? You know, Krause, you know what? I'm going to have to call him like Little Z. Little Z, okay? I think I like Little Z better, okay? Because you know how he started me off and pissing me off to get me ready for the program? Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Holy cow, man. As I said, I welcome everybody aboard. Thank you so much. And you guys are just absolutely making this show one of the hottest shows there is out there. And I appreciate it, man. You guys have just doubled the audience, doubled the back and forth. I mean, it's been absolutely sensational. We so appreciate it. You know how we work the show here. You guys are the content. I put up a bunch of things here. I write it down each and every single day. I throw some ideas out. We go back and forth. And what we do here is we just talk a little sports here. We get away from everything else that's going on in the real world. And with all the football going on, both college and pro, how the hell can't you have a good time here with this? I mean, it's really, really a great time of the year because there's so many storylines and we're packed. And obviously, because we are based in Philly, what we're going to do is we always start with that area there and with the Eagles. By the way, at the bottom of the hour in hour number 2, we are going to have our friend Ted Robinson. You saw him in the Olympic Games. He works for NBC Sports. He is also the voice of the San Francisco 49ers. That is the next opponent for the Eagles. We will talk to him about a little bit of the troubles that they had late in the game against the Lions, but Jimmy G looked pretty good in that football game against the Lions, pretty much for about 3 quarters. So it was pretty good. So Ted Robinson, the voice of the 49ers, will be with us in hour number 2. All right, let's start this off by doing this here. Before I get into the Eagles, I'm going to do something, and you know what? My little ego sometimes. I don't know if it's ego. Let me take that back. I'm not sure it's ego. But sometimes when, I forget that I'm also a guy that's in the media. Now, look, I don't like to be called a reporter because I'm not a reporter. I've just been a sports personality for nearly 30 years. That's all I've really been. I'm not a journalist. Okay? I am not a journalist. But sometimes, you've got to balance that between being a former player and also being a guy who's in the media. And young Krause said this to me. Sills, I saw that stupid-ass tweet of yours about Aaron Rodgers. Are you really going to give that guy a pass? And I came out and I said this. Well, the guy's 26-7 in 2 years. I mean, are you going to really castrate him over getting his ass kicked in by the Saints? And he's like, can you let that go on like that with the belly aching? You know what? There was more belly aching today. And I do have to start it there. Man, dude, shut up. You know what up. I am so sick and tired of this guy's moaning and crying that he has had all year long. If you don't want to play football anymore, nobody is holding your feet to the fire here. Get the F out of the game. Either you're in or you're not in. Get out or get in. My God almighty, crying about last week still? It's Wednesday, guy. Bitching and moaning about how the Packers talk trash on you? Who cares? This guy, seriously, man, you better check and see if you've got 2 cannolis down there because I'm saying, man, you lost one of them. Act like a leader, dude. Jesus criminy, man. This guy's acting like I can't believe. I mean, dude, you're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Act like it. So for the life of me, it just really blows my mind that a guy like that with that much reputation is really crying like this so much. I mean, God, just shut the hell up, Aaron Rodgers. Good grief almighty. All right. So let me get into the Eagles here. And let me throw this at you here. After 1 week, do you think the Eagles are now the favorites to win the NFC East? Are they the favorite? Let's take a look at, who the other teams in the East played. Paul, appreciate you coming aboard. NPC, thank you so much as well. Okay, let's take a look at it. The Cowboys opened up with, Paul says no. Jordan Down Under says, "Hey, mate, how you doing? Love it." The Cowboys, they played the world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Washington played a very, very tough Chargers team. And the Giants took on a very good Denver Bronco team. We didn't know what to expect with Teddy Bridgewater. And now go like this. The Eagles took on the Falcons, the worst of all the opponents of all the teams in the NFC East. Am I right when I say that? Nigel B says Dallas is still the favorite. Okay? Paul says, but it might change. Dallas would have to get this, and look what Paul's doing. By the way, one more time, all of you that chime in and you guys jump aboard with us, we appreciate it. And you guys automatically go right to the front. And anything in the discussion, I always kind of like read it and we kind of like balance it. So that's kind of how we do it here. So we appreciate everybody doing that with us. Okay, but think about again. Everybody in the East played a pretty good opponent out of the gate. Now, I will say this to you. The New York Giants look like the worst team, at least roster-wise. Do we not agree? So far after week 1, we would all go like this. I don't know about the Giants, man. And I was higher on the Giants than I was on the Eagles less than a month ago. Okay? But after watching that offensive line and after watching what Denver did to them, on the other side of the football, I went like this with the Giants, man. I'll tell you. And then the coaching. How about it, too? Joe Judge, he throws a challenge flag out on a touchdown throw by his own dude. And I'm going, okay, well, the coach, too, now has to have issues. So I'm like, okay. So after week 1, I think it's a fair question. I mean, look, you got to remember something also about the NFL compared to other sports like basketball and baseball. This is like, every week matters because, you have one game a week and there's only 17 of these things. So it really does add up and matter here. Each week, it's a big deal. You can't just go, well, this game really doesn't matter. One game can have more weight than the other. I would say this to you, that the game coming up with the 49ers for the Eagles is an important football game. But I would also say this, that the game after that, the Cowboy game, is a division game. That kind of matters a little more. Paul says, we'll see how good the Eagles are this weekend. No rookie guard to abuse this weekend. That was a really clear-cut factor. No question. And John, really outstanding to eyeball that because that was a significant factor. They were blowing that kid up the entire game. Jordan says the Eagles are together. The 49ers are a divided team. That's an interesting take. No cover corner. Here I'll go here with Jordan. You know what he's referring to? It's a great take, Jordan. It's a great take. Eagle Vision says huge football game. Jordan's right, because you know why? Here's what you have in San Francisco. Tell me if you think I'm off base with this. Here's what you have. Well, I really love Teddy, but I really love our new guy. Doesn't it seem like he wants to cheat on his wife? And I'm talking about Kyle Shanahan. I really love my wife, but I've got a mistress on the side here, and I really want to date her too. Right? I mean, it's like he's got a gumat on the side. I don't think you can have a gumat on the side. That's a girlfriend for you non-Italians out there. Good afternoon, Joey B. Yeah. I mean, Jordan, don't you guys agree? If you're the 49ers, I think this is the one thing that kind of hurts them right now, too, because if I was in that locker room, I'd be doing this. All right, so who's our guy? Who's our guy? Yeah, hey, Joey, Gumad. I had to drop it in there. Hey, Kyle Shanahan, he's got a Gumad. Hey, who's this Gumad? This guy, Trey Lance. Well, how come he doesn't like his wife? What happened? No. It's not that. You got to go certain places with the Gumad, and you go to certain places with the wife. You go to church with the wife. You go out to clubs with the Gumad, right? Ask Tony Soprano. You got to go. You know what a Gumad is. So why aren't you loyal to Jimmy G? Hey, I'm Kyle Shanahan. I'm an NFL head coach. I think you're right on, man. Jordan, that's a great take because, you're not really all in on a guy. I think you've got to be all in on the thing. I think you've got to let everyone know, hey, Jimmy G's my guy. Trey's going to be, and they're trying to figure out plays for the dude to get him involved in the game. And I'm like, it's very college-ish, isn't it? It's very college. Eagle, right? I mean, and I think that plays into the advantage for the Eagles. Okay? Because get this. Right on, guys. This is why I love you dudes. This became like the Wentz, Jalen Hurts thing at the end of the year last year, right? Well, who are you in with, okay? Who are we in with here? I also want to do this. So again, I ask you, are they the favorites to win the NFC East? I'm still with everybody out there. I'm like, well, not everybody, but I'm still with folks out there doing this. I think this game's a big game this weekend against the 49ers, and not so much for the division, but to tell me who they are. Do you think you got an identity? Watch this. Do you think you got an identity coming out of that Falcons game where you went like this? These people want to establish a running attack immediately and get that football down the field, and they want to run it. Or are they trying to establish Jalen, which I think they are? They're trying to also, get this, I don't think they're trying to establish Devontae Smith right out of the gate here. I think they're still trying to play with their toy right now and figure out what he does best and what he can do in an NFL defense. You know what I'm saying? I still think they're figuring him out. And that comes to the play design of Nick Sirianni. I think that's exactly where they are with him. Because featuring him, that means you're going to get the best corner cover. And you don't need that right now because I question whether or not he's going to be good in press coverage. I'm not saying he's not going to be. I'm just saying I question that a little bit in press coverage. Also, I want to throw perception at you here, and I want to throw a perception question at you here. Eagle Vision says, Eagles must win the game 2-0. Cowboys can be 0-2. We're going to get into that because they do have the Chargers this week in Los Angeles. And you go into that week 3, okay? It's in Philly, right? Or is it in Dallas? I forget. I forget. Am I right when I say it's in Dallas? I think it's in Dallas. I think the end of the year the game is in at the link. The way the season ended last year for the Eagles, is this why we're a little bit more euphoric about the Eagles? Is it because of the way it ended last year? Am I right when I say that? Thank you, guys. Yeah, in Dallas. I kind of thought it was. It's a Dallas opener, right on. Because the thing the last game of the year, too, it was just terrible. Hey, Joey B, your Giants are terrible, dude. They're just terrible. They're the worst franchise in the NFC East. Eagle Vision says, hey, last year was just a nightmare. See, and I'm going to take your line there, Eagle Vision, and I'm going to say this to you. Isn't that why we're doing this now here after the first week of the season going, holy cow, that's a breath of fresh air? And it's kind of shocked us, right? It's actually shocked a lot of the analysts and sports talk guys and sports media guys because it's shocked me. Okay? It shocked me. Am I right when I say that? See, it's refreshing, right? But does that mean they're good, though? Or is it also that, hey, the more we get removed from last Sunday's game, the more we're doing this? Okay. It was really a nice start for a new coach, a new quarterback, a new system, healthy guys. The roster looks a little better. Here, honestly, too, the roster does look a little bit better, but how much better? Scott Lynch, I told you, bro, a big difference with this starting lines. You're right, Scott. I was dead wrong. Scott, you were dead on. Dead on. I thought that, but Scott, I did think this. I thought in the first two quarters, I thought Atlanta pushed him off the ball a little bit. Okay? I mean, they did get 125 yards rushing in that game against that front four. That's not horrible, but you'd like to see it around 90. Okay? You don't want to see a team putting 125 up on you. Okay? And I think really Atlanta kind of abandoned that a little bit because they started falling behind. But they ran the ball on them. And I thought the Eagle defensive line came along, and I thought Fletcher Cox played a better second half. Nigel B says it just means we had a good start. That's key to this whole thing. DJ Scooter, I think we will have a lot more accurate identity based on week 2. But I see Sirianni adapting things week by week. You're dead on with that as well. So it could be more player specific based on how they line up and play against certain defenses. DJ, let me throw this at you. That's actually how Bill Belichick has made a coaching career. Every week they look like the same guy, don't they? Or different people. They're like chameleons. That old Belichick with Brady football team, they're like chameleons. That's a smart way of coaching because then you don't know what to think of the team coming in. And that means you've got personnel hybrid guys that you can match up man-to-man with them. You can put a guy's hand in the dirt. You can stand them up. That's hard to defend. Scott says, thanks, bro. Much respect. You'll always get that, Scott, when I'm wrong on something. I'll tell you something too, Scott. Man, I'll tell you that Kelsey, you guys asked me a question about whether or not he's a Hall of Fame dude. That dude was blowing dudes up in the secondary and on the second level. That's as good a center I've seen since Marquise Pouncey. Let me think. Another guy who used to do that, Stepnoski used to be like that. Ray McDonald used to do that. I mean, there was a bunch of guys that were second-level dudes that would get up on that linebacker, and he blows guys up, man. That's a good-looking offensive line right now. Scott, you were dead on. Red zone defense is great. Kevin, and what kills me is that Atlanta didn't address it because that was a major concern of theirs coming into this year, is that if they would have addressed that, and it looks like they didn't. They thought they addressed it with Kyle Pitts, but I saw that guy just a couple catches in that game on Sunday. Eagle Vision Cox double-teamed up the whole game. They won't be able to Eagle, okay, the 49ers have a better offensive line than you're giving them credit for, okay? The Eagles they'll have a challenge with that 49er line. They got the best offensive lineman, okay, in the game on that line too, in Trent Williams. So it's not going to be what you think. You think that I said this yesterday to you. This is going to be one of the best games of the year with the big guys. I mean, you've got gigantic names all over the place in this game, and they're all in the fronts. They're on defense. You've got Boza. You've got Trent Williams. You've got Kelsey. You've got Johnson. You've got Malata. I mean, there are a lot of guys that are going to be some of the top players at their position in the NFL are going to be playing in this football game. Louis says, thoughts on the linebackers versus the run. I thought they got better, Luis, in the second half. I thought they got better, as the game went on. I thought they really did a nice job at gap control. I thought they struggled a little bit on cutback, but I thought they really stopped it in the second half, and I thought the defense got more pressure, and I think they did a lot better. Guys like Graham were getting back there. Hargrave were getting back there. I thought the fronts played well because the linebackers played well. Hey, is Alex Mack the old Atlanta Falcon guy? Am I right when I say that, Smile? Was Alex Mack a former Atlanta guy, or was he the former, man, where was he? Seattle or Cleveland? Was he in Cleveland? I think something like that. He's been a good center the whole time. Eagle Vision, Trent Williams played for the Skins. Tremendous football player. Tremendous football player. What a tackle. Their number one running back, Kevin Adams says, yeah, no question. They got injuries at their running back position. That will hurt them. But that line, it always seems to me, though, man, that the 49ers, whomever they put in that position, always seemingly have a great, great running attack. Remember back in the day when Alex Gibb was the offensive line coach at Denver, and it didn't really matter who they had back there. They'd get 1,000-yard rushers. I mean, it was crazy watching those guys, how good they were. They would put anybody back there, Gaston Green, guys that were really nobody, great college players, but really got to the NFL. You were like, man, Denver just rolled these guys out. DJ says, Nick has said that so much about 10 different ways. It's not scheme. It's the players first that puts them in a position to put the scheme. That's exactly correct. But you've got to have those versatile players, DJ. You've got to be able to have guys that can stand up, guys that can go to a three-point stance. If you want to go to a 4-3, 3-4, 53 look, if you want to play banjo cover 2, if you want to do any of that stuff, you've got to have versatility, especially at the linebacking core. That's why when we were asked the question, he was in Cleveland. That's right. When you're talking putting game plans together, okay, you're putting game plans together like that, when you have versatility, why do you think guys like Teddy Bruschi and Mike Vrabel and players like that were so important to Belichick's defense? Look, just go back in his history when he had Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks. You could put those guys down in the three-point, stand them up. You could play a shade nose. You could line them up on the 2 technique. They did a lot of things. Leonard Marshall was either in a 5 technique, a 3, or a 7. Really good, man. Smile says both Kelsey's out. He may be a Hall of Fame guy. I mean, getting up on the second level like that and blowing dudes up. I didn't give him enough credit for the center that he is. Watching him play, he's really good. His feet are really good. Okay? His feet are really good. Let me throw this at you here. The most athletic, I know most people think this, that the most athletic guy is your left tackle, right? It's not true. He's a gifted athlete. But I've always thought that you had to have, like, your center has to be your best footwork guy. Why is that? Think about what I'm saying here. The closer you get to the ball, I think the better feet you have to have, guards and the center. Here's why. There's more traffic inside. There's more bodies you have to jump over, feet you have to get over. So you have to have better feet, which means you have to be a little bit more athletic inside as you get closer to the ball. That's why the center position, when you get a guy that can get up on that second level, those are very special guys because you don't usually see that. And if you have guards that can do that, that's what made that Vince Lombardi, not to bring that thing into today's conversation, but the Lombardi sweep was because his 2 guards were out powering everybody else in the league at that time because they were all schwimps. And they're blowing dudes up with 2 guards. Anytime you get mobile guys that can move the way that the Eagles moved against the Falcons, you got a special group of dudes. Kevin says, Mulata versus Bosa. See, and know this, Kevin, that matchup alone, that's like a heavyweight championship fight that Dana White would love to have in the octagon at T-Mobile, okay? Because here's the deal. Bosa is as athletic as I've seen getting around the corner. He's got great hands, slaps them away. Now, what makes Mulata special and different is this rugby background of his. Being able to use your hands, being able to slide your feet, being able to keep your balance and knowing leverage is what's making Mailata. When I watch him play, I see a leverage player. As big as he is, he uses leverage still. That's a key. That's what's going to carry him into being into the next level and being that kind of guy. Every lineman, this is Eagle Vision, every lineman we have started has the ability to get to the second level. That's freaking incredible. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Robert says, right guard, Brandon Brooks, and right end, Zach Ertz, watch practice from the sidelines. Probably nicked up. Or how about this? If you got a couple nicks there and you're trying to keep everybody, remember, when you're the head coach, that's smart by Sirianni. You know why? It's 17 games now this year. There's an extra ball game. There's an extra 10 days of practice. Guys get nicked up. Here, I've given you guys this analogy before, and I'll do it again. Watch this. This is how an NFL player goes through the season. I'm going to use this. Now watch what I'm doing here. You guys watching? What am I doing? You're getting pounded on subtly getting pounded on for 17 weeks. Practice every day, Monday through Friday. What if I stopped that for a day? What if I gave Kelsey a break? What if I gave Ertz a break? Give him another break. As long as they're producing, you don't want to keep this going. What happens? The top of the nail breaks. A knee, an elbow. You're trying to stop that as much as possible because you're trying to win the war of attrition. That's the key to this, the war of attrition. So again, when I say to you, and I throw this at you here, okay, are they the team to beat in the NFC East? I still say I'm not sure. And because of the perception of last year and the way it ended, we all are saying this now. Well, it's a really great start. Maybe they're better than we thought. Okay? You know, how many times you go on first dates and all of a sudden you're like, man, after a couple dates, you're like, holy cow, that chick's just not cool. Or her vice versa on you. Wow, man, that guy's a jackass. Sorry, I'm out. You know what I mean? I know first impressions matter, and it's important because it starts to create a narrative. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to take a timeout. I'm going to tell you what's going to be the key matchup for Niners and Eagles. Also, you see what Ty Law said about Bill Belichick, that there's more upside for Belichick than there is for Brady as we move forward here? I want to hit on that a little bit, but as we move forward here with Eagles and 49ers, what do you think is going to be the biggest matchup? We'll hit on it next. You keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
Glasses for cocktails, right?
It's for this, and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Yeah, okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
As a hard-working American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Beyond Cooley Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Beyond Cooley Law Firm. Find out why they say, "We got this."
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
National Football Show, your boy Dan Sileo. So, Tyler, I'm going to show you something here real quick before we get back to our conversation here. Bob says Eagles linebackers in the secondary versus the 49ers receivers and tight ends. I like that. That's good, Bob. Real quick, though, show you something the difference. Ty Law's on radio now in Boston. WEI. You know what he says? There's more upside with Bill Belichick moving forward as the head coach with the Patriots than Tom Brady with the Buccaneers. Really? How many people really think Bill Belichick's ever going to win a Super Bowl again? I don't. You know what Bill Belichick's going to do? Bill Belichick is going after Don Shula's all-time wins record now. He's never going to win another Super Bowl again. By the way, I'll eat crow if he does. But no way. Not that team. He got beaten week 1 by the Dolphins. Brady could possibly win another Super Bowl. And by the way, Brady's already done the damage to Belichick's resume. I didn't need you, dude. Right? I didn't need you. Ty Law, though, shows you because he wants to get Bill Belichick on the show so he can interview him because he's on a radio station that has Bill Belichick and they pay Bill Belichick to go on. It just shows you right there that that's not truth. Okay? He's lying to you. He knows that that's not the truth. But because he wants accessibility, being able to go to games and being able to cover the team, he's going to lie to you. That's what's called being a cheerleader. Ty Law really thinks that there's more upside with Bill Belichick at 70 than Tom Brady at 44. How many years do you think Belichick has left as a coach? 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's going to coach until he's 75? Really? You think Bob Kraft is going to keep a guy around at 75 if he doesn't win for 10 years? I don't care how many Super Bowls you win. Super Bowl coaches get fired too. It shows you. And you know what's funny? Fans, you guys point that out all the time. You guys are some of the best football people I've ever spoken to. And you guys would know when a guy's BSing. Oh, Belichick, he's really got way more upside. There's a chance that he could. Tom's already done it. I don't need you, guy. And I won a Super Bowl over Zoom calls. Bill Belichick went, by the way, last 2 years, Bill Belichick doesn't have a winning record as a head coach in the NFL. Right? What is he now? What is it? 7 and it's 7 and 10 now. Bill Belichick in the last 2 years as head coach in the NFL, he's 7 and 10. I don't know. You think that's going to turn around anytime soon? We'll see. And by the way, he's going to run down Don Shula. That's what he wants. He wants the all-time wins number. He has the all-time postseason number. right? I mean, he's got the all-time Super Bowl number. His resume's set. Brady's done a little damage, but we'll forget that stuff in a couple of years. Mike McDonald, thanks for coming aboard, brother. I don't see Bill winning anymore either. I'll tell you what. Let's see if he finishes 500 this year. You know, people were more optimistic about the Patriots than they were about the Eagles this year. And that includes me. Okay? And for the record, I think Cam Newton wins that game against the Dolphins. Don't you? So you put the rookie in. Okay. You drafted him. But look at Bill Belichick's drafts over the last 5 drafts too. Have they been really great? I don't think so. Smile says, how many quarterbacks does Washington team football start this week? Or this year, he says. Man, I think they're going to – this guy, Tyler Hanke. I'll tell you what, though, Smile. I really did like to see the guy at the podium, and I had never heard him talk. I was cool with him. I was really cool with him. DJ Scooter says, Bosa and Malata is going to be fun to watch on Sunday. Huge test for Jordan. It is a huge test. DJ, okay, and I asked the question going into the timeout. I said, what's going to be the big matchup for the game with the 49ers and the Eagles? What do you think is going to be the big matchup? What is going to be the thing that could swing this game? Okay? I think you guys kind of been broaching it a little bit too. Here's what I think it's going to be. Front seven of the 49ers versus the offensive line and Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. There's your game. There's your game. DJ says that Ertz had a minor hamstring. That hurts because how do you keep a defense at bay and how do you keep them honest? Quick hit passes. These quick hinge passes, okay? How many times have you seen Tom Brady kill teams with that quick hitch pass to Gronk? We saw it last Thursday. First, he put Gronk in a blocking scheme. Then he put him in a pass. Then he took him out of that and put him in chip and release and ran him down the seam. It was a 10-yard touchdown. It was brilliant. That's what stops pass rushers. Okay? I mean, if and the 49ers can play defense. I know people are going to go like this. Don't take too much into that last quarter of what you saw versus the Lions. I don't know what the hell Kyle Shanahan was thinking. And by the way, to some of you guys' points, that whole thing with the quarterback in San Francisco, I think is killing them. I think it's killing them. Pick a guy, man. Absolutely pick a guy. Right? Pick that dude. Figure out whether or not he's going to be the guy that is going to carry you all the way to an NFC title game, or go with the other guy. I don't think you can go and waffle back and forth like that. I just don't. Robert says, Eagles news, Devontae Smith among top-graded rookies from week 1. What was it, 6 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown? Well, then, if that's the case, what were they thinking about what Jalen Hurts did? Jalen versus a better D-line. Yep. And front 7, Nigel. And front 7. That's right. Nunez said, John Madden said it, if you've got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. You see, but the difference is, Nunez, they do have a guy. He's 26-8. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually in a regular season, I think Garoppolo's like 23-7 as a starting quarterback for San Francisco. I don't get that. But he's missed 53% of his football games because of injuries, so I do get it, I should say. Frederick says, it's like the guy who doesn't know what girl to choose. Yeah, that's what I was doing earlier. Hey, Frederick, I was saying this to you, man. I was going just like this. Okay, I got a really beautiful wife. Look at her. Jimmy Garoppolo. Wonderful looking, man. She's just great. Oh, my God. I love her to death. Wow, what a beauty. Wow, is she beautiful. Man, unbelievable. Right? And then you got to, well, what about that gumad you have on the side that you take? Yeah, I can only do certain things with her that I wouldn't do with my wife. What? I mean, well, wait a minute. So you got 2 girlfriends? Yeah. You got 2 girlfriends. And both don't like it. And people in the family don't like it. And it's kind of, look, if the Aaron Rodgers thing, okay, if the Aaron Rodgers thing is starting to play a factor, and I don't know how you don't think it does. I got to give my boy Krause Jr. Some love here on this. He's dead on, man. You know what? Because he said it to me. He goes, Sileo, I saw that weak-ass tweet of yours. I can't believe you, of all people, are going to give that. And I did. And then I thought about it, and then I heard him crying today again. And I'm like, dude, stop crying. I think that's a great tweet. Aaron, stop crying. It's all you do is cry. And it's unbecoming. And it's playing a factor on your team. Because your team doesn't believe you any. Here, this is one thing that you never want to have happen, and you hope you. Did we see this with Carson Wentz? Hey, tell me if you saw this. Tell me if you could make the comparison. Did we see this with Wentz? Watch. Well, I wonder if the Packers believe in Aaron Rodgers anymore. All the crap that he has said, all the stuff that he has done, right? And just like Wentz, the way he acted at the end of the year last year, everybody in the locker room threw their hands up. They said, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of babysitting you. You see, and that's kind of what Krause Jr. told me. Dude, stop crying. You're one of 32 men in the world. You're the reigning MVP. You're sitting on the top shelf right now. Why are you crying? You got a football season to go out and try to win with these other 52 dudes. Why are you there? Right? You never want to lose your team like that because you're moaning. Nunez says Carson Wentz actually makes an O-line look bad. He's honestly a stationary target. Yeah, well, Nunez, I think from what I understand with Frank, they're trying to move him around as much as possible in the new offense that they're constructing for him. You're right. He's got to move. He can't have a point where he gets to and throws the ball. I don't know, man. It's like a vision issue with him right now. He's got tunnel vision, and that usually comes with lack of confidence. Bob says Julio Jones' name has come up again after a fallout with a coach. Your thoughts on Devontae and young receivers learn a few routes from Julio. Whew. Julio Jones. You know, here. Having issues with a coach in Tennessee would make me pause a little bit on Julio. Mike Vrabel has a good football team. Okay? That's a good football team that Mike Vrabel has. So, I mean, I don't know if I want to mix up any of that right now. I would say this to you. I mean, if anybody else is out there, I mean, what are the Browns going to do with Odell Beckham? What are they going to do with Odell Beckham? I mean, I have not heard his name at all, and him being a non-factor in that game plan. Jarvis Landry's more of a target. The tight end from Miami is more of a target. That team is all rep by the running game. Their O-line and their running backs, that thing is all about running, man. So what would be the value of Julio Jones, you think, right now in an open market coming off an injury? A 5th rounder? Now, the problem with him is there's a big number on him, $17 million, I believe. And I don't know if that escalator has come down. I don't know how you could work that. It's got to be a cap issue if you're probably the Eagles there. But, I mean, you could defer some of the money out because of the new collective bargaining agreement that goes into effect next year, and you could start to defer money but I don't know you could fit that guy into the window with the money that he makes. You see, he's in an awkward position, is Odell Beckham in Cleveland. He's not productive as he was in that offense when he was in New York. He's coming off an injury. His market value, I think, is a 4th, 5th rounder. I'm not giving you a 3rd-round draft choice for that guy, especially at the $17 million number. What I'm saying is if you're looking for somebody else with experience to come in, that person, I don't know if he's the kind of character guy that you want to bring into your building too. Devontae Smith has more character, in my opinion. Nunez says he can't read coverages. I dispute that, Nunez. I think it's how Doug Peterson called plays. I think it's because he didn't have a problem under Frank. He had no problem reading defenses under Frank Wright. He had no issues. So I think it's more in the construction of the game plan and him losing confidence and him holding on to the ball. You got to coach that out of him. Throw the ball away, dude. Punt the ball. Punts are okay. That's why you pay them. If you got a good punter on your team like the Eagles do, punt the freaking ball away. Play special teams and defense. I mean, have confidence in the other guys. That's what he started doing that didn't make sense. I mean, I showed you guys exactly what Carson Wentz was doing last year. Eagles would get the ball on the kickoff. They'd have a lame-ass run because of injuries in the O-line. They get 1 or 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. He drops back, incomplete pass. Then on 3rd down, you get a sack. They kick it. You're down 3. That's Eagles football at its best last year under Wentz and Doug. It became a trend. And I think Frank's got to work that out of him somehow. I still think they're going to. I think Seattle really did a nice job in their fronts last week against Wentz. I was really shocked that the Colts offensive line gave up as many pressures and sacks as they did. There were a lot of hits on the quarterback. And maybe also, too, that still comes from his injury that he had and that surgery that he had in the offseason, too. Him still getting over that. So, yeah. How many games is 75%? I thought it was plays, Eagle. I thought it was plays. Okay? I think it's plays. I don't think it's games. I think it's 75% of the plays that if he starts 11 or 12, he's got it. I think if that's how you're calculating it, 75% of the plays would be 11 or 12 starts. That's probably right. Yeah, sounds right. It sounds about right. Well, because of the new game being added to the mix, maybe 13. I think maybe 12 or 13 is probably the number. He holds the ball forever. He surely does. He surely does. But the perception of the football team, last year, man, was just absolutely brutal. And you come out and you have a great game against this 49er team. By the way, we're going to look at the 49ers. We're going to do that. Let's take a brief time out here. We'll get back to all your calls. 13 games. Nigel, I think it's closer to 13 games as well. Okay? I do. This 49er team is going to tell us a lot. How much about the Eagles? We'll do it next. You keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. Glasses for cocktails, right?
It's for this, and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Yeah, okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, zero sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
As a hard-working American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm. Find out why they say, "We got this."
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Cody, welcome aboard, brother. That's what we do here. Welcome everybody aboard. Thank you so much for making this one of the fastest growing shows in sports out there. You guys are absolutely killing it. By the way, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers, Ted Robinson, from NBC Sports, will be with us in hour number 2 at the bottom of the hour. You may have saw him during the Olympic Games. I love the way he worked with Rowdy Gaines. Rowdy's a friend of mine. I know he's a Gator, but it's all good. Okay? And Ted's been doing Olympic Games. God, I got to think that's now his 10th Olympic Games. He does summer and winter. I mean, he also does Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, and he's the voice of the Niners. So we'll have him in hour number 2. You know, I threw out, we were going to hit on this 49er team, but you know what, too? I want to hit on this here. And I want to go back to a topic that I brought up on Monday. You more impressed with Jalen or Sirianni from Sunday's performance? I thought about that again last night. Who was I more impressed with? Who's got more pressure on him to succeed? And by the way, look, both guys are going to get leeway to make mistakes. Okay? Monkey and Mine Banana says Sirianni. You were more impressed with him. I'm leaning that way too. Monkey Man, I'm leaning that way too. Ken says, Nick, by the way, thank you for your calculations on the playing percentage that Carson Wentz would have to have, for the Eagles to get the first round draft choice. If you want, could you please repost that? Because I'm sure we'd all be interested, because I'm not seeing too many mathematicians on here. You know, unless we want to go to Krause Jr., who I'm sure that, because he's an investor. He's talking to me about Nats or Nits or something, and Nils or Bills or whatever the freaking things are. Have you seen these things? Huss. I'm looking for a bacon, egg, cheese biscuit. Have you seen this? These little gips? That's what I know. I'm not saying them right. So we thank you for the calculations on what the percentage would be. Oy. I'm sure Krause's got his calculator. Did you see the stock market today? It's up 236 points. 34,000. Nah. Not really. Yeah. Jalen has more pressure. You think, Nigel? Really? You really think that, huh? Look what Nick did with JAKIB Brissett. Won a lot of ball games. Did they go 9-7 with him, Eagle? I thought they went 9-7 with Brissett. I think JAKIB Brissett now is in Miami, backing up Tua Tagovailoa. Eagle Vision. Nick has one. Oh, wow. I love that topic. Has Sirianni won you over after that less than impressive press conference? Has he won you over? Has Nick Sirianni? That's a great topic. Let me write this down here. Has Nick Sirianni changed your opinion of him since that opening introduction press conference? Who's Xander, Cody? Never heard of him. Who's Xander? Oh, that Bama honk? Great. The Bama honk. But has he won you over? Or is it still incomplete? As you can tell, my first initial reaction, and I hope I saved that text message from him today. And I'm working him, guys, so we can get him on the show here. So you guys, because I've made a promise to you. Oh, wait a minute. Get this. So I erased him, but look who else I have on here. Because we got some really good news today. Look at Ice Cube on there. Me and Ice Cube are talking. How you doing? Jimmy Johnson, too. I didn't even notice that. Jimmy Johnson and Ice Cube. Yeah. Wow. Name dropping. I know. Anti-Philly stuff, right? Hey, wait a minute, though. Hey, anti, right? What are you name dropping, dude? Really? Here's what you get back east. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares. Hey. I got the best response. Sileo from Krause Jr. Hey, you want a cookie? Congratulations to you. You know people. Thank you for not robbing a bank. What the hell do you think you're here for? Because what? Your outstanding Paisan looks? Do the freaking show. I love that. Oh, my God. I miss back home, man. I do. I miss people just going, shut up, let me finish. This is why the Eagles are going to win 13 games. 13 games. Yeah, okay, right, all right. You win 13 games, I'm dropping 60. Hey, I'll make that bet. If the Eagles win 13 games, I'll automatically go on a starvation diet. I'll lose 60 pounds. No problem. See, I choose to be fat right now. I spent my whole life sculpting a body and being the strongest guy on the planet. Thank you. Yeah, so I choose to eat. I'm not totally convinced, but definitely optimistic. Kyler, here's why you should be very optimistic. Mark Holmes says, no way 49ers go into Philly's home opener and winning. Man, they're a good football team. Mark, I think that they're still waffling a little bit too much, though, on that quarterback stuff. Okay? No pizza? I love pizza. Don't. Come on. 49ers, an upset, lost at home. Robert's got the Niners rolling in. Here's why you should be optimistic, though, about Sirianni. The construction of these. This is what I told him. The constructing of the game plan and the flow of the team. And get this. Didn't you guys notice also one of the biggest things that for a new coach, I mean, like I said, you want to take a prime example of something? Watch that watch that Texans and Jaguar game. Urban Meyer's team was all Urban Meyer had to shoot down rumors that he had to say this. Watch this. I'm not interested in the USC job. Why? Because everybody saw how your team was not prepared against the Texans. Do you know the equivalent of getting beat by the Texans is in college football? It's like Ohio State losing to like Eagle Creek University. Oh, no. That Sycamore team. Okay. St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Getting crushed like that. I mean, they got crushed. They literally got crushed. So I say to you, man, I'm like, no, Oregon's a good football team. Jordan, Oregon's a great football team. I ranked them in my top 3 in my rankings. By the way, I'm a top 25 AP voter, and I ranked them 3rd. Philip says, Nick has a fairly long leash for me. Good for you. Good for you. Just glad that Dougie P is no longer play calling. Hey, watch this, and in charge of player development. Philip, those are 2 great takes. Doug's not a play caller. Okay? Wasn't he in Andy Reid? Help me out, guys. Wasn't he in Andy Reid's Kansas City system? If you're in Andy Reid's Kansas City system, just like Eric Bieniemy, who do you really think is calling the plays? Eric Bieniemy or Andy Reid? I mean, Andy Reid didn't call the plays in Green Bay when he was the quarterback coach. You know who called the plays? Mike Holmgren. Everybody's trying to duplicate that. Well, just because he came from the Holmgren tree. Well, that doesn't make him. Joe Philbin came out of that tree too. He was a quarterback coach in Green Bay. He got the Miami Dolphins job, and he sucked. So Doug had the advantage of having Frank. He was smart enough to hire him after Frank got fired by the Chargers, believe it or not. And Frank gets that job in Philadelphia. He was lucky. Dion, correct. A brilliant designer. Yeah, but actually, Andy, if you think about it, Andy Reid is a product of the Holmgren system. And it's kind of how Mike picks really potential guys that are going to be maybe head coaches or coordinators down the line on other teams. Think about it. You're not calling plays in Kansas City. That's why people are looking at Eric Bieniemy going, how come he doesn't get a job? Well, he's not really the play caller there. Andy Reid was the play caller in Philadelphia too. And Eric Bieniemy, he's kind of in charge of formations. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I do have Bama number 2, Birdman. I have Bama number 2 because Bama hasn't played anybody. Georgia played Clemson. Case closed. Nunez, Nick is more in tune with the players and playing into their strengths. Absolutely. Marty called plays. Cody, Xander Krause is the man, so is Joe Krause. Oh, I know Joe, but I don't know who Xander is. Never heard of him. Mark Holmes. Frank and Foles won us that Super Bowl, not Doug. Correct. But remember something. Doug hired him. You got to give that kudos. Birdman, Bama's 2. They're 2 until the very end. When they get into the SEC championship game, then that rating will change. They are number 2. They will never get my vote. Ever. Not that I know. Not after before I went on the air. Birdman, I got dogged by him. Okay? So has he won you over a little bit? Hey, has he won you over? Nick Sirianni. I just love the way that he has, from that press conference, and then, we had Josh Talentino on, like, the first time I think he said, he's talking about Kobayashi videos. This is how you, like, eat the hot dog. This is how you drink the water. This is how, and I'm going like, so you're throwing Kobayashi, like, motivational. Go Canes. I think the onslaught's coming. Penn State, Auburn. Auburn who? Penn State's good. Did you see James Franklin's name being thrown into the mix now with USC? Makes $10 million. And he's interested in the Southern Cal job. You know what Southern Cal told him? Open checkbook. What write your name and put the number you want to put there. That's what I would do if I was USC. Stop playing around. When you want a really good coach, do this. I got a check here. You fill it out. We'll work from there. That's what I would do. If I was Southern Cal, stop hiring the best assistant coaches. Okay? Stop doing that. Stop. Get the best guy you can. How many times in your life, guys, have you ever paid for cheap and went, hey, man, I got this thing on a bargain basement, and this thing is as good as a Ferrari? It is, I mean, right? When you pay for something like that, you traditionally end up getting what you ended up paying for, correct? Trevor, appreciate it, brother. I'll throw this at you, Trev. Has Sirianni won you over from that opening day press conference? I like what I'm seeing with him. I have been more impressed with Nick in this first week than I have even been with Jalen. Now, have I been surprised by how Jalen looked? By the way, I'm not suggesting to you in any way also that I'm not impressed with the way he played, but I have been really shocked how good Sirianni has been in the first week. King James, thanks for stepping in, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you coming aboard, man. By the way, don't forget, Ted Robinson, voice of the 49ers, will be with us, and we'll get more insight on what the 49ers have. Ted's around the team all the time. He goes over to Santa Clara and watches these guys practice, so we'll get more of an opportunity to hear from him on what this 49er team is going to do. They have to travel on the road, go to Lincoln Financial. It's the Eagles' home opener. It's the first time truly that fans are going to be inside the Link. Place is going to be off the charts. You're going to have tailgating at an Eagle game. Dude, I think that to me is a bucket list thing. I've got very few bucket list things. I think that's one of my bucket list things, is that I want to have a tailgate party at the Link. Trev, right? Right? Nick Sirianni is bringing in a new culture. Correct. He's a Philly type of guy, South Philly Nick. Oh, my God. Nunez, should we start saying that? No. He's got to win the East first. Right? Hey, Eagle Vision, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you coming. If we get one going, man. Hey, wait a minute. Before we start calling him South Philly Nick, no way, man. He ain't South Philly Nick after a Falcons game. Come on, man. For him to win me over, for Nick Sirianni to win me over, he's got to win the division first. He's got to win this division. Okay. Nick, easy on interviews, hard on players, but fair. No outside agenda. Oh, my God, you're so talking about a Philly type of dude. You're saying no BS. Beat the Cowboys. Beat the Cowboy. Birdman. Monkey and bananas. Hang on here. Monkey and bananas. Monkey mind bananas. Let me ask you this. That ain't your rival, dude. Cowboys ain't your rival. South Philly Nick is not going to be dubbed on. I'm going to text him that. You guys are ready to call him South Philly Nick. King James, if Jalen wins against the 49ers, does he change the conversation from it's just one game? Maybe the Eagles can be a contender. I think if you beat the Cowboys, packed Link with beautiful Eagles fans, Noise will be unbelievable. I'm with you, man. Jermaine, fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Heard them. I like that. I like that, dude. I like how people parachute in and just drop that crap in there like that. Ooh, man, is that place going to be off the chain? But wait. So here's how I look at your rivals. The Cowboys, for some reason, it's like Eagle guy looks down at Cowboy guy so much because you know why? These guys get all the pub. They get all the benefits of the doubt. Their fans are weirdos. And the Cowboys get everything in the media. And they haven't done anything in 27 years. Right? The Giants are your guys, though, man. I was raised knowing that it's Giants and Eagles. I told you before. I got a Hall of Fame uncle over here. That's a New York Giant. Okay? This is his induction into the Ring of Honor. And you guys are going to try to tell me that your rival is the Cowboys? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. Eagle Vision goes, I hate Cowboy fans. Yeah, because Cowboy fans, I mean, they're stupid. They think their teams are always better than they are. Philip says, bucket list for me too. Coming from England and having been to the U.S., one day I'll get to the link. At least I was at Wembley. Oh, that's pretty cool, Philip. Pretty cool, man. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, man. I wore a Hugh Douglas jersey on the first day of school in 2003 in Giants country and got sent home. Dude, where you live, Trevor, in Connecticut, man, that's total Giant country, man. The front office guys live in that city. The front office people live in Fairfield County, man. What are you, crazy? You're wearing – hey, get this. I'll tell you a story. So Bruce Allen and I are friends, the former president of the Washington Redskins. And I call Ray Handley up, not that Ray Handley, but the guy Handley who handled the PR for the Giants. I think he just retired. And I go, hey, man, I had Bruce Allen on, like to see if I can get John Mara on. I've had John on my show. And he goes, do me a favor. Don't ever, ever in a million years ever bring up Bruce Allen's name ever again to me. Do you understand that? Don't ever bring it up to me again. He hung up on me. I had to call him back a month later, and he goes, hey, Dan, how you doing? Didn't even bring it up. Yeah. His father was George Allen, too, Nunez says Cowboy fans are like the uncle who still talks about what he did in 1988. Hey, like I said, if your best highlights are in your rear view mirror, okay, that's when you ask the question, hey, man, are we good? Are you still relevant? The media wants to make the Cowboys the Eagles' biggest rival, in my opinion. They do, because you know why? There's more cachet to it. Blue-collar guys versus cowboy guy. Yeah, of course they do. Just like they did with the Lakers and the Celtics. It's kind of what it is. And by the way, why do you think more media people talk about the Cowboys? They talk about the Dallas Cowboys for a reason. You know why? Because the Dallas Cowboys create more ratings. And the Eagles will always create ratings in Philadelphia. Okay? Will always create it. But outside of that, Cowboys ratings, if you looked at what that thing did, what was it? 27 million people watched the football game last Thursday. I know Brady was part of the factor. But the Cowboys being in that game also was good. Okay, Eagle Vision going back Going back to Buddy Ryan. Oh, my God. I love Buddy Ryan. Real cool, monkey mind bananas. Real cool. Birdman, personally, I hate the Cowboys more than the Giants. Now, see, that's a different take, though. That's a different take. I didn't say Eagle fans didn't hate the Cowboys more. I said your true rival, though, is the Giants and always has been the Giants. Best highlights in grandfather's rear mirror. Jordan, nice. Eagles will be 3-0 going into – oh, no way. King James, you think this thing – wow. I'll tell you what. I'll make this very clear. Eddie says, why are they even in our conference? True. Well, because you know why? They wanted the Cowboys in that conference because of New York. Tex Schramm wanted that because all the big city television ratings, Washington, Philly, New York, they put the biggest brand in the NFC East. Remember the Cardinals used to be, even when they were Arizona, I think when I played, I think in 87, maybe still they were in the NFC East. The Cardinals were still in the NFC East for like years. And then they finally moved them to the West. Eddie says, we own the Giants. No comp. Oh, man. Arizona was in the NFC East. Yeah, man. For like, I think I even played against them when they were in the East. Tone says, if the Eagles are 3-0 going into KC, Game Sills has to shave his head. No shaving his. No. Are you kidding me, man? Look at this. Look at me, man. I'm in my 50s, man. I'm in my late 50s. Look at this. I ain't got a gray hair in that thing, and I don't polish it either. And you ain't going to see Big Sills put shoe polish in this bad puppy. Not working for me. Hey, when Big Sills dyes his hair, it's time to take me out in a potato sack bag and shoot me in the head. Jake the Snake. It's luxurious hair. Thank you. Why, thank you. Hey, you've made me feel really good about myself today. Oh, by the way, real quick. So we just got some heads up. I'm not going to give you the name because I don't want to throw it out there, but we're going to be doing something with a casino resort soon. And they're committed to us. I just got the email 2 seconds ago. And I am stoked about what we're going to be doing around Super Bowl. Big Sills may be actually with his toes in the sand. How you doing? And we may be inviting a bunch of you guys. Don't dye your hair like Colin Cowherd did. How about Dan Patrick, too? You see that shoe polish he puts in his hair? I mean, I'm like, dog, man, really? No, it's a good look for you, man. It's 50 with the crisp hairline. God's gift. Hey, man, dude, wait a minute now. You know, the forehead's still getting a little bit deeper in the crease here. You know what I'm saying? How about Zach Ertz's hair? No doubt, dude. I mean, what is that guy doing? That guy's going bald at 20. Birdman, all good, man. I'm on cloud. Hey, listen, I got to tell you guys, I really do want to do a tailgate there. Yeah, we get Big Joe to get off his wallet and see if we can make that happen this year. That might be fun, dog. Okay, that might be a lot of fun, man. Yeah, Zach Ertz in the WCW back in the day with the do. I like it. Tone says dyeing the hair is never the way. Just take it. Saltpeter. I think my wife sneaks that in on me on my Cheerios. Shoe polish? Right. All right. How about this one here? What if the Cowboys go out to Los Angeles and they lay an egg out there against this Chargers team and they start out 0-2? Is that game against the Eagles a must-win for them? They could easily go to Los Angeles and SoFi, right? And they could drop that game. You imagine the Cowboys getting out of the gate 0-3? Then they go in, then their home opener, they drop it to the Eagles, right? Trevor says he can actually see that. Smiles says the same thing. So this is a big win for the Cowboys. Cowboys, you go into that Philly game, and if I'm the Eagles, dude, Cowboys, look what the Cowboys got in their first 2 games. You would think that team won 13 games last year. So they played the Bucs. You know why they played the Bucs? Why do you think that game was scheduled? It wasn't just for a specialty Thursday night game. It's because the Bucs were not division champs. The Buccaneers finished second in the NFC South. So they got a lesser of a schedule. That's how you repeat. They don't have the hardest schedule in the NFL like most Super Bowl teams do. They were a wild card team. Nah, Tone, they were a wild card team. Scheduling goes by division winners and then by wild card and then by record. Okay? I don't know why I'm repeating this, but Birdman just typed this. Biden blows. Wow. That's out of left field. Gee. Oh. Interesting. Tone. Oh, wow. I do remember you saying that. Right. Yep. Second place. They were wild card guys in the NFC South. So that's why they got that schedule. The Cowboys aren't playing as tough a schedule. Get this, the Saints are playing a tougher schedule because they were division champs. Cowboys go out to that game against the Chargers and they dump that game. Guys, they're in a lot of trouble. Now, we'll say this to you. You think this 49er game is a must-win? We have Ted Robinson, the voice of the 49ers, coming up soon. I'll get back to you guys here in a second. Please keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. The glass is for cocktails, right?
It's for this, 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 and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Yeah, okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fought. What's that? Huck and Fought. Go now to steersnacks.com.
As a hard-working American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm. Find out why they say, "We got this."
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Your boy Dan Sileo. I think the Cowboys have to win this ball game against the Chargers this weekend. You can't start out 0-2. Now, some would go like this. Well, the division's not the best on the planet, and we're still unsure of the Eagles. And this is how I opened the show. Understand this, okay? I mean, the Cowboys started out with the world champion Buccaneers. The Eagles started out with the Falcons. Washington had to play a very tough game versus the Chargers. I think the Chargers have a playoff roster. And the Giants, I think, played another playoff roster. I think Denver's good. I don't think Denver's as bad as people think also. Tone says the Cowboys can definitely lose this game. Hey, if I were to tell you, okay, if we all did this too, Robert says Cowgirls fall this week. Yeah. Hey, if I were to tell you who has a better roster of players, that Derwin James dude for the Chargers in the secondary, guys, that guy can play. I think that kid's from Florida State. That guy can play. Then you got Joey Bosa. That's a pretty good-looking football team. By the way, Ted Robinson's going to join us in a couple minutes. He's the voice of the San Francisco 49ers, so we're going to get his thoughts here in a second, too, on the team. And we'll get a better insight on how he basically sees that football team, too. So, I mean, thank you, King James. You guys make it easy for me, though, man. I told Krause Jr. this, and Big Joe this. Dude, the guys you guys got on sports radio in Philadelphia, they have the easiest jobs and the best jobs on the planet because you guys are the passion and the energy in that building and the energy in that city. I mean, what do you think the link's going to look like this weekend? What do you think the link's going to look like? You know? Oh, by the way, I always tell people this, just so you know, Philadelphia, I got my favorite baseball player here. Dick Allen. He was one of your greatest players of all time. Should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, too, by the way. Dick Allen. God, I love that guy. He's from Pennsylvania, too. He's from PA. Walpon. Oh, God, I love that guy, man. One of my favorite players of all time is Dick Allen. No, I think the Cowboys could drop this bad puppy, man. That's why I say I think this game is a must-win situation for them. They've got to win this game. They can't come out of that thing. They can't. Dykstra's your guy? Hey, I've had him on my show before, Eddie. Let's just say this. Lenny, he's a handful to have as a guest. Yeah, Lenny's the handful. Okay? Carl Wren. Yep, they ran him out of town. Who, Dick Allen? Yeah, they ran him out of town in Chicago, and he won the most valuable player in Chicago. Yeah, put that team on his back and won the MVP award, hit 37 home runs, and was a White Sox MVP instead of a Philly MVP. Absolutely. Dick was a tremendous baseball player. Should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, too. Rookie of the Year, MVP. I mean, one of the best hitters of all time. I think he has a 300 career batting average, too, as well. The 350-something home runs will probably be a factor for him one day. But I think he was on the Veterans Committee, and I think he just was like one vote shy or something. Yeah, Carl, right. Out of Philly too, man. Played in St. Louis and with the Dodgers too, if I'm not. Then I think he finished it up with the A's. Man, I loved him. Hey, him and Reggie. I think Reggie's a PA guy too, right? Is Reggie a Philadelphia guy too? I think Reggie's old man is from Philly. I thought I could have swore Reggie was from Philly. Eagle Vision. Bucks had 4 turnovers, and the Cowboys still lost. I brought that up last week, Eagle. I said the same thing. I go, check it out. So the Buccaneers, okay. Oh, wait. The Cowboys had 475 yards in total offense. They got 4 turnovers and lost. That's a lot, man. Birdman says, non-believers, time to start believing. I'm going to say this to you. Birdman, you go 3-0. Okay? You go 3-0. You're going to change my opinion. Oh, no, that's my first day as a professional NFL player. It's on the cover of the Tampa Tribune. My uncle did that for me. Here. This is Big Sills against the Lions. Funny, I went to college with that guy I'm playing against, too. His name is Kevin Glover. Really a great center. Like your guy, Kelsey. Gets up on second levels. Just really, Kevin Glover was a fantastic player. Fantastic player. Tone says, when it comes to the Cowboys, what can go wrong? All will go wrong. Man, I think Kellen Moore is going to be the coach of that football team next year. Ken says 3-0. I'm all in. Wow. First tier? Would they be a first-tier team? 3-0? If you beat the Falcons, Cowboys, if you beat the Falcons and the Cowboys and the 49ers, would you be a tier 1 team? Probably. Yeah. I would say probably. Eddie says Glover was great. He was great. He was fantastic, man. He was just a fantastic player. We're trying to effort our friend, Ted Robinson. So hopefully we're able to catch up with him, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers. Ted's really a great guy, man. I just absolutely love him. He is just a guy that just works so hard. You saw him in the Olympics. He did such a great job in the Olympics. Him and Rowdy. I had such a great time watching those guys. I was texting Rowdy the whole time, too. That Rowdy Gaines was just, I think he was working with Dan Hicks, was Rowdy. And I want to say that Ted was working the volleyball, and those volleyball matches were just great. So hopefully we can catch up with him because they struggled a little bit, especially in the last 5 minutes of the game. Now, I'm talking 49ers here. How much do you play into that where were the Niners just holding on to get a game 1 victory? And we'll ask Ted the question, is it still something there that is in the players' minds that are you all? And by the way, the noise that we talked about with Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, I don't know how it wouldn't play a factor in San Francisco with all the noise that was going around Jimmy G. I mean, there were conversations that Kyle Shanahan was going after Matthew Stafford. Then they were supposedly a little bit in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. Then they were trying to make a move, and they eventually did with the Dolphins, where they moved up and they got to the 3 hole here. So let's go over to our friend, who I have great respect for, is our friend Ted Robinson. And Ted, I have to start out right away. I made sure that I watched every single broadcast of yours that I could when you were at the Olympics. And I got to tell you, that must have been one of the hardest Olympics for a broadcaster to call because no fans. It was almost like they were practices that you guys had to try to give the, the energy in the building. and I thought you did a great job. I
Well,
thought it was almost an impossible task. How did you feel about the whole experience with the Olympics?
well, it was even harder, Dan, because I was in Connecticut doing it. we were pulled back from Tokyo because of the COVID postponement. NBC, for safety reasons, budgetary reasons, all the obvious factors, just took a certain percentage of people and reduced their Tokyo footprint. And we were part of the diving group I was part of. We were moved back to Connecticut. So all the things you talked about were at 2 a.m. That was the point. We were calling live diving at 2 a.m. Eastern time. So literally I was working the graveyard shift. I was going in to the building at 11 p.m. and getting back anywhere between 6 and 8 a.m. And I found out firsthand why it is called the graveyard shift.
Our friend Ted Robinson here. Let's get into the 49ers, voice, of course, of the San Francisco 49ers. Ted, give me the good and bad from week 1 versus the Lions, in your opinion, for the Niners.
Well, now that I watch with a little bit of a distance, it's interesting because one constant, Dan, that has stayed true, Kyle Shanahan is just a brilliant schemer. He's a schemer, and I say that in the football. Understand the football use of that word. Just a great play caller. It started year 1 with the 49ers when he had pretty substandard talent and was still scheming people wide open. He's proving it right now because they've not had a healthy standout running back in quite a while. And Raheem Mostert emerged as the guy. He can't stay on the field, sadly, because it's a wonderful story. McKinnon, they signed Jerick McKinnon, and he really could never play for him. He couldn't stay on the field. Tevin Coleman came in a little bit. He's gone. Now they're putting a rookie out there in Mitchell, and my goodness, they find a way to run the ball. So anyway, takeaway would be, one is that he has evolved or taken what his dad did in Denver and then a little bit in Washington and brought it to San Francisco. They're a great run game schemer, and it really renders the running back secondary. The individual back doesn't matter as much as the scheme and the kind of offensive linemen you played against them that run that scheme. Kyle Shanahan is extraordinarily big on mobile offensive linemen. He doesn't have road graders. He has people that can get mobile and, in football terms, block second level. All right, that's one. 2 is, I think he's going against the wisdom of the 2 quarterback thing by putting Lance out there just sporadically. And the old theory, Dan, to me, that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. I think it was Parcells' great line. Yeah, that's true if they're alternating series, alternating quarters, random stuff. But when it's a pre-assigned package, a tactical placement, that's a good thing. It's what Sean Payton has tried to do with Hill in New Orleans, and it's what Kyle Shanahan is doing now with Lance. And you understand, it means instead of getting no reps during the week, Lance is going to get some reps every week. And then if something happens to Garoppolo, now you're not putting a guy stone cold out there. You're putting a guy that's been at least a part of things, has taken snaps from the center, has called plays in the huddle. I think that's really smart. Third thing is they've got a secondary issue, especially now with Verrett going down. They put a lot on their secondary, a lot on their corners, and losing Verrett, on top of having Richard Sherman not back this year, that's going to challenge them. That's going to challenge them to see who can step up and play on the corners.
I would say this to you, Ted. You're exactly right. This isn't a platoon quarterback scenario. I mean, platoon quarterback scenario, when you have 2 quarterbacks, he's coming in an alternate series. I mean, that's not what this is. Like you said, it's a pre-designed situation, almost like the old Mouse Davis, like that Wildcat thing that you had down in the red zone back in the day, where you had specialized plays for certain guys. And I think you're going to see more of a trend with that, especially with salary cap issues, where you lose O-linemen sometimes. And it's good to have a mobile guy inside the red zone. I don't see it that way. However, though, do you agree that the noise, though, in the offseason, if we saw all the noise, Ted, in Green Bay maybe take a factor on that team, especially in their opening game against New Orleans, that some of that stuff had to bleed into the locker room? Jimmy Garoppolo this last offseason, and I know I'm going winded here on you, but, I mean, first there was Matt Stafford rumors. Then there was the Deshaun Watson rumors. Then they trade up right in front of his face, keeping him well informed of what was going on, that they were going to go into the 2-hole to get Trey Lance. How do you think that's affected the team and Jimmy Garoppolo this year?
100%. You're spot on there, Dan. I mean, it's to me, from everything I hear, because all I do with Green Bay is hear, but what you hear is pretty blunt now from Rodgers, and it's a 180 from the 49ers. The 49ers called Garoppolo. They told him what they were going to do. They told him he was going to come to camp and in essence, still be the guy. I mean, Lance was going to be there to compete, or even before they picked Lance, whomever they chose, they told Garoppolo, it's going to be in the mix, but you're still going to go in there. We're not replacing you. They told him everything up front. And from what we hear from Aaron Rodgers, that is zero of what the Packers did a year and a half ago when they drafted Jordan Love. And so now Rodgers comes out this a couple of days ago in his interview with Fox and says, yeah, it looks to me like they told me I don't have a future here beyond 2021. They drafted my replacement, so why not? Let's get it over with now. I mean, that's terrible. And I only saw a little bit of their game, but from everything I've heard, their body language collectively was terrible Sunday. That's bad. In week one, that's horrible. And that is a massive challenge to LaFleur now to fix that, starting Monday when they play Monday night against the Lions. Yeah. Otherwise, the NFL, you start, even with a few more teams in the playoffs, you start 0-2, 0-3, that's a tough climb back from that.
Absolutely. So let me ask you then, is it close, Ted, in your opinion, between Trey and Jimmy? Do you think it's close, or do you think there's much work to be needed? Because, I went back and I told you this last time you're on, I had to YouTube some of his games because I don't remember ever seeing him play. And in the last 19 months, the most significant football he's gotten has been in the exhibition season. I mean, how close can he actually be? Or am I wrong when I say that he is close in this competition with Jimmy G?
Well, yeah, I would say right now, Dan, starting out this year, I would say, and again, knowing Kyle decently, I mean, this is probably a pretty good situation right now. You're getting Lance in the mix. You're breaking him in slowly. You're not throwing him out there. It's not the Dalton as a placeholder for Justin Fields in Chicago thing. That's not the deal here at all. Or Joe Burrow that got thrown right out there last year in Cincinnati until he got hurt. They're going to ease Lance in because of what you talked about. The guy hasn't played a lot. Ease him in. And now the key is Garoppolo twice in his 49er career has gone down with season-ending injury. All right. He has to stay on the field. If he stays on the field, I believe, and they win, they continue to win more than they lose. This to me is the pattern. I think it's very clear there are two things that Lance does that are why he's there. One is the obvious, the mobility, and the second one's the deep ball. And we know that. That you have to have it in the league. Kyle loves it. It's not a Garoppolo strength. It's not a glaring weakness either. It's just not a standout strength. Well, it is for Lance. And you saw that in the preseason. Shanahan will love that. So eventually, what has Russell Wilson done twice a year for almost a decade to kill the 49ers? The deep ball, because he's a great deep ball thrower. I think that's a little bit of what was driving Kyle, what drove McVay to get Stafford, right? Same thing. Jared Goff, not a great deep ball thrower. Stafford is. That's where I think that's a lot of the attraction with Lance.
Couple of last questions here for you here. So this weekend, you guys are going to be taking on the 49ers here, or the 49ers are going to be taking on the Eagles. And the Eagles get out to a great start against the Falcons. The Falcons really did not put up much of a fight. It's O-lines. I said this, Ted. I go, man, between the 49ers and the Eagles, this may be the best matchup of big dudes I've ever seen this week because, I mean, you got Nick Bosa, you've got Trent Williams, you've got Fletcher Cox, you've got Lane Johnson, you've got this kid Jordan Mailata, who I think is going to be a sensational player, and that matchup against Bosa is going to be great. I mean, of all the games maybe played this year, this could be the battle of the Hogs, and the Stars are going to be in the Lions. We're going to learn a lot about both teams here, aren't we?
Yeah, that's a great call. And look, you brought up a name, everything, the whole narrative around the 49ers for the last, 5 years. And, I was there through all the Kaepernick stuff and the transition out of Kaepernick to other quarterbacks. And it's always quarterback driven. It goes back to Joe and Steve with the 49ers. Nick Bosa is a massive name. And, it was so big for him to get, I think, 50 snaps in and stay healthy. He needs to be out there. He obviously is the game-changing defender that the 49ers have been looking for. They've had terrific linemen in Buckner and Armstead that were number one picks, but they're not game changers. Bosa is. Bosa could do potentially what Aaron Donald does for the Rams in that division. And so for him to be out there, Fletcher Cox is a guy that's the prior games that I was there for the 49ers Eagles. Fletcher Cox was tough. They couldn't handle him. And if he still has that traction in him, that's going to make it great. So I love what you're talking about. I think that's been another part of the Shanahan thing. And I jumped myself. I jumped right on his play calling and the scheming and all that stuff. But he has been so good at figuring out exactly who he wants on his offensive line. And when Joe Staley reached his end fairly suddenly, faster than we all thought, he went right out and got Trent Williams. Went right. I mean, they targeted Trent Williams. They got Trent Williams, and he's paid off for him.
Finally here, Steve Young's comments. You think the ring to be true that Steve came out and said no matter if Jimmy Garoppolo wins the Super Bowl, they're still trading him. Do you think that's fair?
I mean, at some point they drafted Lance to play, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's a hell of a hypothetical. If they win the Super Bowl, trade him. I mean, at some point, and I think Jimmy, I'd have to look up. I lose track. Is he 30 yet? I mean, I think Jimmy's not. He's just where he is. He's 30, whatever. And that doesn't mean he's done. I mean, Brady's 90 and he's still playing. So, but I understand where Steve's going. They mortgaged a lot of their future. I mean, they mortgaged a lot for Trey Lance. He's going to play, whether it's this week or next year or 2 years from now. He's going to play. I think if they win the Super Bowl, they trade Jimmy. That's probably a tough one. But then again, Foles won a Super Bowl and look where he is.
Absolutely. Right. Hey, man, I appreciate it, Ted. I love catching up with you, my friend. You always find time for me. Thank you, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Good. You too, Dan. Take care.
You got it. My friend Ted Robinson, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers. We'll take a brief time out, get back to all your spin. You keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. The glass is for cocktails, right?
It's for this, and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Yeah, okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
As a hard-working American, you've never experienced how tough life can be until now. A catastrophic injury while working on the job. A personal injury from someone else's negligence. Turned away by other law firms in the region who didn't bother to learn your story. It's time to meet the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm and managing partner Brian Fritz. Badly injured? Call the Fritz & Bianculli Law Firm. Find out why they say, "We got this."
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with JAKIB and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
Dan Sileo National Football Show. I was just reading some of the comments over here. Thanks everybody for coming aboard today. And they're like this. How about this? Trey Lance going into the link this weekend. I'll have that all night. Guys, the two craziest buildings I have ever played in, non-college, were RFK and the Vet. Thank you, Joey. Holy cow, man. Eagle guy just screams at you. And you hear him. Hey, you mother. Hey. You mother, your mother. Your mother's all. Oh, man, I can't tell you how many times you just sit there and you look over at your boy and you're like, dude, that one was cold. When I'm with the Cowboys, man, we roll in there. You motherfucker. Hey. It's like I'm at an Italian dinner. It is, man. So there's just barking and barking and bark. There's no end to it. It's just no end to it, man. And that old place, RFK, used to rock. You turn around and look at the stands, and the stands are going up and down. At the Vet, that bitch was just cold. The carpet sucked. The whole place sucked. When you got into your lockers, because you know they're under the stadium there, right? There's like 10 showers, and they all are rusty. And it's like you walk in there and you're like, you're freezing your back. You're going, God, please don't let me play in Philly in that place. Cause that place, oh my God, you mother. Oh, man, I think Eagle guys hated the fact that the Cowboys had that stadium, and God looks in on the Cowboys. Oh, I didn't realize what hatred was until I got to Dallas. Oh, man. Oof. Jordan says, don't expect to get it back with anything. Let's see here. Kevin goes, yeah, worse yet, Dan. You would get treated the same if you played for them that year before. The 9 degrees freezing game, the Cowboys looking for the bus before halftime. Dude, man, my college goes through that. Hey, speaking of that, so Nebraska, Oklahoma this week, we're playing that game this weekend. Isn't that a Turkey Day game? Hey, thanks a lot, college football schedulers. You guys end up pissing all over us again. That's your tradition game. Treat it like one. It's not just another football game. Nebraska, Oklahoma. Oh, my God, they're actually going back to something and giving to the fans a little bit of the tradition of college football. Thank you. Even though it's in September. That's not a September game. Come on, man. Dan, did the Giants make a mistake in not drafting a quarterback this year? QBs in the next draft pretty light. Yeah. Well, depending on what the Giants finish this year, that Giants team may win 4 games. The Giants team may win 4 games this year. I don't see it. Denver beat the piss out of them. They dismantled them. They really did. Okay? New York Giants trade Fields to the Bears. That ain't happening. They'll trade Andy Dalton before they trade that guy. They think they got somebody special in Fields. I'm still doing this. We'll see. You see him get killed in the exhibition season? That guy took a big hit. You know, his helmet got knocked off. I thought his head was still in it. You keep taking, and I think that's exactly what Matt Nagy saw a little bit, is that he had trouble behind that bad offensive line. He had troubles with that. He had troubles with that offensive line in front of him, and he moved around well, but you're not going to win running, playing Wildcat football 20-20. You need to make some plays in the passing game. I'm drinking my sorrows away with my Giants, at least 5 years until the Giants are relevant. Joey, I hate to say this to you. Dave Gettleman needs to be replaced. Joe Judge needs to be replaced. The quarterback needs to be replaced, which means the entire coaching staff will be replaced. That's 5 years from now. You think magically, all of a sudden, they're going to wave the magic wand and that thing's just going to get rectified within the next 18 months? There's no way. There is no way the Giants turn that thing around. Their quarterback has been fumbling the ball for the last 2 years. Watch this. When you want, and you know what, too? I'll tell you what, Josh Allen, he took a step back last week against Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's a good defense. Pittsburgh's a good defense. By the way, tomorrow we're going to take a look at some of the games in week 2. There's really a lot of good football games, and we're going to find out a little more. How funny is it, too, after week 2 or going into week 2, we get to do this now, and we get to say this. Hey, we're going to find out a lot about both the Niners, the Eagles, the Cowboys. Right? We're going to find out about the Cowboys. Okay? Watching Dan's show saves me $300 an hour in mental health visits. Dude, Giants suck right now. Just deal with it. It stinks. Dude, Tish's, man. The Tish and the Maras are great owners. Smile. They're great owners, man. They just haven't made the right hires right now when it comes to GMs. I mean, I forget, what was the guy's name that was during the Super Bowl run during Tom Coughlin's time? Who was that guy that was their GM? Damn. I forget who the GM was. He did a great job of retooling the team year in and year out. Man, I can't remember his name. And ever since they replaced him, they've put Gettleman in. I'm like this, man. Dude. It's just, I don't see. Look, you go like this. What do you think of Saquon Barkley? Yeah, I think Barkley's a good player. Okay. But he's a good player if you have a talented quarterback. Like, watch this. You put Barkley behind Jalen Hurts. Eagles win 13 ball games. With that O-line, you look like the old Emmitt Smith, Dallas Cowboys in the triplets. Devontae Smith. Don't you see how close you are if you're an Eagle team and you're an Eagle fan? You're a running back away from being a 13-win team. You can't run the ball the way you run the ball by committee and, getting 65, 66 yards. That's it, Reese. That's it, Smile. Reese. Was it Gerald Reese? Was that his name? It was Reese. That was the general manager of the Giants. He was really good. And he worked with Tom Coughlin and did a great job with Tom Coughlin at tooling that team. They brought a lot of great guys in. Mike Lombardi was up in New England and in Cleveland. He was a general manager there. Worked a little bit with the Giants as well. And he was more of a consultant with the Giants too. He's been doing consulting work. I think he works for The Athletic now. As a matter of fact, let's see if we get Mike Lombardi on tomorrow, get his thoughts on this upcoming Eagles and 49er game. Yeah, I'm going to be – the other game that I am going to be watching, I was going to be watching that Charger game because I think the Cowboys are going to be 0-2. Hey, Tone, if you guys – maybe even Najee Harris, I say this to you guys, and get this. Hey, Krause Jr. said this to me, Sills, you got to love the Devontae Smith, and I didn't. as talented, 6 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown, that's great. But the Eagles are in more of a need of a running game than a wideout. I'm never going to build my team from the perimeter in. I'm going to build my team from the inside to the perimeter. Okay? That's how I'm building that. Mr. Wing, huge game. 49ers Eagles shows who both of them. That's right. Which one is going to be legit? Absolutely. Okay, Birdman. We'll see. Hey, by the way, I'm not suggesting in any way that Devontae is a bad pick. I'm just saying I prefer, because that's more my style, running the ball. Okay? Wow. I bet those were really in the last 5 minutes of the game, too. New NFL? Fair enough. Guys, I'm going to cut us off here. I can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. We're going to take a look at all the games, too, in the upcoming week 2. Hopefully we get Mike Lombardi on. We'll try to work on him. I appreciate it. You missed any of the show, go over to the JAKIB Media channel. Click it, share it, like it. Till tomorrow, 4 to 6 Eastern time. Adios. We will see you on the flip side.